I may have ranked the new Mega Pokemon based off of their stats, but I'm not done milking this game for that sweet content yet. Because you know what? This game may have provided us with the stats, typings, and move pools for each of the new Mega Pokemon, but it left out one very important detail: the abilities. That's right, here at Moxie Corp, we dodged running out of video ideas for yet another week. Just like 60 more until Gen 10 drops, right? 60 more weeks? Alright, we'll be good. Anyways, today I'll be going over each new Mega Pokemon's design and trying to figure out what ability they'll get once they get implemented into Pokemon Champions based on their stats, designs, and Pokedex entries. Leave a like, subscribe, check out the Patreon, become a YouTube channel member, all that junk, hype the video, just interact with the video, like leave a comment for a cookie recipe in the comments for all I really care about. Anyways, let's begin. There's 26 Pokemon to cover, so this is going to be kind of at a rapid fire pace. I already ranked the Mega Pokemon, so if you want a more in-depth discussion on my thoughts about them, go watch that video. If you got a problem with it, comment down below, right next to your cookie recipe. Mega Clefable is already fighting for its life in terms of viability since it's just a more expensive Togekiss in every way, shape, and form, but an ability should allow for it to carve out a niche for itself. Its Pokedex entry says it flies by using the power of moonlight to control gravity within a radius of over 32 feet around it, so lots of people have speculated that it'll set gravity upon hitting the field, but that just doesn't really make sense, since it kind of makes the flying type useless for the first few turns. Like, oh, look, I grew wings, now you'll get to see me use them in 5 turns once gravity's over. Genuinely, I'm at a loss here for a creative answer, because Fairy Aura would make it at least hit harder, but that doesn't seem super likely since that's Xerneas' signature ability. I'm just gonna go with Magic Bounce, because that at least is kind of useful and sets it apart from Togekiss in some way. This video is sponsored by Card Shark. As a competitive Pokemon player, I get a lot of prize packs, and I don't even play the TCG, but I love collecting cards that mean something to me, like this Wo-Chien card or the World Championship promo I got back in Anaheim this year. Of course, I want to keep them safe while displaying them for everyone to see, so I use Card Shark cases. These Card Shark cases have a hard protective shell like a slab, and a soft inner membrane that keeps the cards snug like a semi-rigid top loader. Their silicone edge guards not only absorb the shock in case you drop them, but they even enhance the display of the card. There's 16 colors that you can choose from, so you can go with whatever fits your style, or whatever just looks best with the card you're displaying. And their magnetic closures keep them securely sealed while making it easy for you to open them up whenever you want to swap out the card. Card Shark cases are perfect for collectors, competitors, or in my case, just someone who wants a nostalgic keepsake. The crystal clear cases make them amazing for displaying cards as a streaming backdrop, and I wouldn't go with any other product. You can buy your own Card Shark cases using my exclusive 15% off affiliate link in the description down below. Protect your cards and show them off the right way. Once again, you can buy your own Card Shark cases by using my exclusive 15% off affiliate link in the description below. It even supports my channel, and thank you to Card Shark for sponsoring this video. For Mega Victreebel, most people are in the camp of it getting corrosion since the Pokedex entry claims that the volume of this Pokemon's acid has increased due to its Mega Evolution, filling its mouth. If it's not careful, the acid will overflow and spill out. Obviously, being able to poison steel and poison types would allow for Mega Victreebel to be more effective as a stall Pokemon, but I don't think that's the build that they were going for here. Most of its stat buffs went into its offenses, so making it a tank just doesn't really feel right, even if it visually got a lot fatter. Remember that Victreebel is a pitcher plant, a carnivorous plant that uses its juices to attract insects and consume them, so why not super sweet syrup? This would actually allow for it to always land its leaf storms and even its sleep powders while synergizing well with other partner Pokemon. Specifically, I could see it working super well with Groudon, as lowering the target's evasion will allow Groudon to more easily land its Precipice Blades. Okay, so we kind of already know what Mega Starmie's ability is going to be. You see, since there are no abilities in Pokemon Legends ZA, in order to make the Huge Power and Pure Power ability Mega Pokemon function, like Mawile and Medicham, they added an additional 40 points to their attack stats, on top of the usual 100-point stat buff that Mega Pokemon get. Mega Starmie suspiciously also has a 140-point stat buff in total, so, like, it's either going to have Huge Power or Pure Power. I don't know. Congrats on being banned to Ubers, dude. Okay, Mega Dragonite is something we really need to be careful about granting an ability to because it could very easily just be a worse Mega Salamence if we give it Aerialite like many people are assuming. The thing is, this thing is buffed to be slightly faster with a massive 145 special attack stat, and its Dex entry terrifyingly says, Mega Evolution has excessively powered up this Pokemon's feelings of kindness. It finishes off its opponents with mercy in its heart. Regardless of what nightmares that info brings me, I don't understand why the people over at Smogon assume that this would mean that it gets the ability Soul Heart. That's just absurd. It would get a boost anytime something gets KO'd, even on its own allies. If you ask me, this thing is a prime candidate for Friend Guard, which would make Dragonite our strongest Friend Guard Pokemon, as it's not just a support Pokemon, but also its own offensive unit. Still, that face gives me nightmares. Okay, so this Mega was pretty well deserved. I mean, after decades of mediocrity, being among the best in your new crop of Mega Pokemon seems right. I don't care if it's cliche, Mega Meganium needs to get triage. It would make Mega Meganium function as a supporter Pokemon, but also turn on a dime and have some of the strongest priority moves in the game, like its priority Heal Pulse to keep its partners healthy, and of course Giga Drain for huge damage into Pokemon like Urshifu. That 143 special attack stat doesn't play, and the fact that this thing technically beats both Urshifus every day of the week is more than enough of a justification to me for it to get this broken ability. Strongjaw is the loser pick. Real Sigma males recognize that suspiciously draconic maw on Mega Feraligatr. I mean, it's even a dragon now. The only other Pokemon to have the ability Dragon's Maw is a dragon with a fake face. The stars just line up too well. Look at this dragon and its fake face. Dragon's Maw would allow for Mega Feraligatr to have the strongest outrage in the game and some of the strongest Dragon Claws. Strongjaw, on the other hand, is just like something that makes Ice Fang a little stronger. Oh, and he gets Scale Shot. Food for thought. Hey Mega Skarmory, those are some tough looking claws, buddy. Mega Skarmory drops its defense to boost its attack to 140 and even hits a respectable 110 speed tier. It's an all-out offensive Pokemon and its ability should probably reflect that. Tough Claws would boost its Brave Birds and Iron Heads by a significant amount, making it a difficult Pokemon to switch into. That being said, if they gave it Mirror Armor, that would be the funniest option since Corviknight was the Pokemon who left Skarmory unemployed in the first place. But it's probably just going to get Tough Claws, so... Please, for the love of God, give this thing Snow Warning. I know that Mega Abomasnow has it too, but I can't see this thing leaving the PC box unless it can click Blizzard for free. Or, I don't know, at least give this thing Serene Grace. It'd make freezing things happen more often. I mean, its Pokedex entry even says, this Pokemon can use eerie cold air imbued with ghost energy to freeze even insubstantial things, such as flames or wind. It just kinda works. Make freezes happen more often, or at the very least let it click Blizzard for free, I'm begging you. Okay, Smogon, dap me up. I'm on board with what you cooked here. Yes, the Pig Emperor should have Supreme Overlord. For those of you not in the know, Supreme Overlord is the signature ability of King Gambit, and it grants a 10% boost in power to all attacks from the user for every fallen ally Pokemon. This means that if your Pokemon is the last one on the team, all moves get a 50% boost. From that position, if Mega Emboar gets one Flame Charge off, it'll boost its speed and pretty easily outspeed and reverse sweep the entire game. I am 100% down for this one. Okay, Mega Excadrill is a tough one, not because I'm unsure about what ability it's going to get, but because I'm stuck between two. It's either getting Sand Rush or Sand Force. In either scenario, it's definitely going to be strong. Since in its base form, it's always going to be running Sand Rush, that makes the transition from Fast Attacker to absurdly powerful and still kind of fast attacker pretty smooth. It's not necessarily changing the playstyle as much as it's shifting gears. All you have to do is Mega Evolve and all of a sudden that sand isn't boosting your speed, it's boosting your attack. I don't know, Sand Force makes a lot more sense on Excadrill than it does for Garchomp. Mega Garchomp's just kind of washed. My apologies, Corbeau fans, but your 5'1" king chose pretty poorly in terms of a Mega Pokemon. I'm not sure why they took the Speedy Horse Bug and turned it into a walking tank, but here we are. And from its stats and design, I can only imagine it getting Bulletproof as its ability. I mean, it's literally wearing armor. But the Pokedex entry says that its deadly venom gives off a faint glow. The venom affects Scolipede's mind, honing its viciousness. So now, I'm just kinda sold on it getting the ability Merciless, which I guess could be solid in singles. I mean, if it gets off a layer of Toxic Spikes, it crits every single time it hits a poisoned opponent, and it's gonna be a pretty massive endgame threat. But that's all just wishful thinking. We'll see what happens. Hello Incineroar 2, very cool how you have Fake Out, Intimidate, and Parting Shot. That being said, if Mega Scrafty keeps Intimidate upon Mega Evolving, I don't think there's ever going to be a use case for it over Incineroar, since at least Incineroar can tank a Fairy Wind. And I mean, it's also just much less expensive, you're not wasting a Mega slot on it. I'm thinking it's either going to get Shed Skin as its ability to let it shrug off burns and poison, or it could get Wonder Skin, which would allow for it to more easily dodge status moves. But I'm leaning towards Shed Skin, seeing as it's, well, you know, shedding its skin. I swear if they get rid of Levitate on this Pokemon, this guy is never leaving my PC box. He's already cozy enough in there. I'd at least like an excuse to take him on a mental health walk. Just let it keep Levitate. Mega Chandelure might be the most broken Mega in the game or the most overhyped depending on what ability it gets. As far as I'm concerned, there's only one ability that could ever leave it amongst the strongest in the game, and that's Shadow Tag. You see, Chandelure was meant to have Shadow Tag as its hidden ability in Generation 5, but upon realizing just how busted that would be, it was never released. Why not grant it that ability now that it has an excuse for being absolutely broken? I mean, Mega Gengar had that, and we all turned out alright, right? Mega Chesnaught could go a few ways. If it were up to me, I'd just have it keep bulletproof from its base form, as that would make it pretty hard to break in modern competitive formats. But there's a non-zero chance that it gets Dauntless Shield. I know that it's already got an absurd defense stat, but imagine it coming with a free +1 defense boost and immediately spamming body presses that are even stronger than Zamazenta's. Its Pokedex entry literally says it's got fortified armor and a will to defend at all costs. Both are absurdly strong. So, I don't know, maybe it gets stamina instead. We'll see.
Hey!
Yeah?
What the hell is this?
Okay, you're all gonna hate me, but I just hope and pray that they give Mega Delphox Levitate. You may think that giving it a ground immunity is strictly a buff, but I'm just hoping that they give it this ability so it can never use Expanding Force. Expanding Force is already a busted move, and this thing getting to spam that move off of 159 base special attack and 134 speed would be the death of me. I mean, they're literally floating on a broomstick, so there's a shot they give it Levitate, right? Please don't give it Psychic Surge. Is Mega Greninja also levitating? Technically, yes, but it's also upside down, and I'm not going to assume that it gets contrary just because of that. If I had to guess, they'd want Mega Greninja to boost the power of its Water Shurikens, and thus it would probably get the ability Technician, which would mean that Water Shuriken ends up being a maximum of 112 base power, making it the strongest priority move in the game. You know, not counting Gale Wing's Brave Bird. Is that strong? Yeah. Is it broken? Yeah, probably, but Greninja's already a fan favorite, and every other form that it's been given sort of has a focus on its Water Shuriken, so I can only see this being the case as well. I really hope that this is the last time I have to think about Mega Pyroar. I really don't care enough about this guy to talk about him again, but if I had to guess, it's probably going to get the ability competitive. Lions are competitive, right? I don't know, but it's better than giving it Moxie again. Like, why do they keep trying to make physical Pyroar a thing? Okay, chat, time to vote on your phones. Are Mega Malamar stats so abhorrently bad because it's going to get contrary again, or because they're finally going to be pulling the trigger on making an ability that automatically sets up Trick Room? Personally, I'm partial to it just keeping contrary because, 1, I don't want to have to play against Auto Trick Room, and 2, it wouldn't be the first time we get a Mega that keeps its base ability. I mean, just look at Mega Medicham and Mega Tyranitar. Mega Barbaracle is actually kind of neat, because off the design you would assume it just keeps Tough Claws or maybe gets Skill Link or something, but the Pokedex entry implies that it kind of gets more intelligent with how it has to control its individual arms. It says, it uses its many arms to toy with its opponents. This keeps the head extremely busy. This could be a stretch, but it becoming a fighting type and getting a bit smarter could mean that it gets the ability Mind's Eye, which causes it to ignore accuracy drops and more importantly, lets its fighting type moves hit ghost types. It's kind of like an alternative to Scrappy, but rather than being immune to Intimidate and hitting ghost types, it's immune to evasion boosts and hits ghost types. Unfortunately, Mega Dragalge, even with its increased special attack stat, can't actually hit as hard as Adaptability-based Dragalge. Now, normally that would make me believe that they're just going to allow this one to keep its base ability of Adaptability to make sure it's offensively powerful enough to justify using, but the Pokedex entry makes me think otherwise. It spits a liquid that causes the regenerative power of its cells to run wild. The liquid is a deadly poison to everything other than itself, so, like, I don't know, maybe it's getting Regenerator. That would make the most sense lore-wise, but it could maybe get some kind of new ability that lets it heal for poison moves. For now, though, we're just gonna go with Regenerator. If Mega Hawlucha doesn't get an ability that carries it competitively, I'm actually going to explode. The stats just aren't cutting it in big 2025, and Champions looks like it's going to be dropping in 2026, so I'm not optimistic time-wise. My first pick is going to be Stamina, as some of the promotional material explain that Mega Hawlucha gets tougher the longer a fight lasts, and that speed stat combined with the new bulk and access to body press would make Stamina a pretty deadly upgrade. However, that description could also justify it getting Moxie as its ability, and I'm really only partial to this one since it means I get a brand new channel mascot. Mega Drampa canonically just gets younger, which leaves me with one major question. Why does he come out of an egg as an old man? How much younger can you get than that? Are there baby Drampa? Who knows? What I do know is that this thing turns into a storm cloud. Its Pokedex entry reads, Drampa's cells have been invigorated, allowing for it to regain its youth. It manipulates the atmosphere to summon storms. Bro can summon storms. This thing also naturally gets access to the moves Thunder and Hurricane. You cannot convince me that this guy isn't getting Drizzle in its Mega form. This is unique as it would be the only non-water type to have that ability, and it would allow it to synergize super well with existing rain teams, now that the Rain Setter isn't itself a water type, doubling down on the team's common weaknesses. Just give it Weather Ball in Pokemon Champions and we're all set. Slow down there, Voltron. I don't see you being viable if you don't keep your base ability. Falinks may get a pretty good stat buff to its attack, defense, and speed, but Defiant remains the best option for an ability on these guys. Maybe you could make the argument that like Battle Armor would make sense or something, but avoiding attack drops from Intimidate is paramount to these guys' success, so let's just keep Defiant. This one's actually kind of up in the air. I'm pretty willing to believe that this Pokemon above any other one on this list would be the one to get a new exclusive signature ability to go with its Mega form. However, its Pokedex entry does say that the Eternal Flower has absorbed all the energy from Mega Evolution. The flower now attacks enemies on its own, and spoilers ahead, but in the final act of the game, we see the tower and Floette sort of merge and go on a rampage that no one can control. If there's an ability that suits these new stats as well as this lore, it would be Berserk, an ability which causes the user to get their special attack stat raised by 1 stage if they drop below 50% HP. But like I said, it could also just get a brand new ability, but I'm kind of partial to it getting Berserk. Mega Zygarde straight up doesn't need a new ability to be busted. With stats like these, it frankly wouldn't shock me if it just gets Truant to balance it all out. That being said, there is one ability that makes more sense than any other one for this Pokemon, and that's just to simply give it back the ability Aura Break upon Mega Evolving. Within lore, Zygarde is meant to keep Xerneas and Yveltal in check, and that's reflected by its ability to turn off both of their auras in its 50% form. But it can't do this in 100% as it needs to have the ability Power Construct to get into 100% in the first place. But Mega Zygarde is the perfect opportunity to have it switch its ability back to Aura Break once it's at its 100% form. This would even let it tank Moonblast from Xerneas off of its base 216 HP. This just feels right within lore. I don't know. Anyways, that was just a quick little video about my predictions for which abilities the new Mega Pokemon will get in Pokemon Champions and in Generation 10. Let me know if you agree with them in the comment section below, and leave a comment below letting me know your personal predictions. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. If you want to support me further, you can check out my Patreon page or become a YouTube channel member by clicking the join button below the video. This gets you sneak peeks at future videos, access to bonus content, and access to my supporter-only Discord server where you can hang out and team build with other community members and even play in tournaments every week. You'll also see your name at the end of all my videos like all these other people. Special thanks to my most boosted supporters, Avatar67 and Club, for their generous pledges. Another way to support me is to check out all the videos in the playlist on screen right now. I know you'll find something in there that you'll enjoy. I also have a second channel where I talk about the current VGC metagame trends and a Twitch channel where I stream, both of which will be in the description. Or you can tune into my YouTube live streams Monday through Friday at 6 PM CST. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.